Who doesn't have a peace lily in their home? Gorgeous, aren't they? I sure do. In fact, this is the first plant me and Mrs. Sheffield bought together all those many moons ago. And what about the king of low light plants himself? Yep, Mr. Snake Plant. I've got a bunch dotted around my home.
It might surprise you to learn then that these cheeky chappies are also toxic. Toxic to you, your kiddies, and also your beloved pets. Yeah, accidentally mixing up your peace lily with your spinach will leave you with mouth ulcers, sickness, and difficulty swallowing. Really not pleasant.
This is just one of many plants you should avoid including as part of your lunch and dinner, or letting your four-legged friend have a nibble that I'll share with you in this very video.
There's one plant in particular that you'll want to avoid including in your packed lunch because it may end up giving you a heart attack, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And this isn't a science show, so I'll keep it Sheffield made plants and not Sheffield made particle science, okay?
Peace lilies then, what's the deal? I'll try not to bore you with all the science in this video, but peace lilies contain insoluble calcium oxalates. Yeah, I've no idea really, but basically they are toxic to both humans and pets if munched on.
If your cat, dog or little rascal of a 5-year-old boy has a little nibble, then you can expect nasty things like mouth ulcers, sickness and a hard time swallowing.
And this is made all the more troubling because of how tasty these guys look, especially when in full bloom. I best keep Sheffield Jr. and Princess Sheffield well away. Aloe vera. You might be thinking this stuff is plant magic, right? Well, yeah and no.
Don't get me wrong, it has tons of health benefits and it's been used for thousands of years because of this, but it doesn't mean you can just chop it up willy-nilly and start eating it like candy.
No, it needs to be prepared properly because part of it is a mild laxative, and you know what that means, don't you?
Need me to explain? Well, basically, when you do...
No, I'll save us all the pain. So yeah, the gel is pretty much fine, but the yellowy latex layer underneath is most certainly not.
It contains a compound called aloe, I think that's how you say it, which can leave you feeling leaky, shall we say?
So you need to wash this off thoroughly and not let your kids or pets munch on the leaves. Oof, imagine the carnage. I've actually got one of these sitting low down in my dining room, and the more I think about it, the less ideal that seems. It's right at the perfect height for a curious little mind to wander over and take a bite. And once you hear why that worries me, you'll probably want to move yours too.
And trust me, he would. I once caught him under the dining table working his way through an entire block of Parmesan cheese. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Anyway, just like the peace lily, we're talking calcium oxalate crystals here, and all the joy that they apparently bring. This plant is Dieffenbachia, otherwise known as a dumb cane plant, but that's a name that actually has a sinister past that we should avoid using. So first the science bit. The sap can cause such intense burning and swelling in the mouth and throat that you literally can't speak. You're left mute or dumb. So keep them well away from children and pets, my plant friend. But here's the ugly part.
In the days of slavery in the Caribbean and the American South, Dieffenbachia was sometimes used as a punishment. Enslaved people were forced to chew the stems, leaving them in agony and unable to talk. So that's where the nickname stuck. So we should stick to Dieffenbachia, eh?
Now, I've not got one of these plants, and to be honest, I'm a little relieved. Although they look absolutely stunning in a pretty porcelain pot, they come with a big warning, especially to pets.
The plant contains cyclamen, and that sounds a little too close to cyanide for my liking.
Be careful, my plant friend, because this plant can leave you with serious gut problems if you catch my drift, and in some cases even seizures and liver failure. We're talking about the Sago palm.
If you have a dog, then I really would avoid this plant because it's particularly dangerous for them, with the symptoms often coming on super quick and leading to serious problems if not treated properly.
Have you ever pruned back a rubber plant, or Ficus elastica to give it its fancy name, and ended up drowning in all that white sticky sap that ends up going all over your house? It's really not pleasant, is it? This stuff is actually pretty darn toxic.
It contains ficusin. It can cause significant irritation to your skin, so it's always best to wear gloves when pruning ficus plants.
But it's not just an irritant for your skin. It's best not to eat the stuff, not that you would anyway, because you might turn into an elastic band.
Not really. Upset stomach is the thing to look out for. Nothing fatal, but definitely unpleasant nonetheless.
I tend to arm myself with rolls of kitchen paper whenever I cut ficus plants to stop it going all over my house.
Even the humble mother-in-law tom plant can't be sliced and diced and enjoyed as part of your favourite soup. It's funny that this plant is called that, isn't it? I wonder why.
Anyway, don't do it, my plant friend. I said don't. Do you want to spend the next 48 hours in the bathroom? No, you don't, so leave it well alone. Jokes aside, the toxicity of this guy is fairly mild, but unpleasant nonetheless. I'll be keeping Sheffield Jr. away for sure. This guy became one of the main plot twists in probably my favourite TV show of all time, Breaking Bad.
Don't worry, there'll be no spoilers here, but needless to say, it didn't sound like a very pleasant thing to eat on the show, and guess what, it wasn't all made up.
Lily of the Valley is highly toxic, containing cardiac glycosides. Yeah, I've no idea either, but just know that it's not one of your daily vitamins you need to take.
Nausea and vomiting, and even major problems like a slowing heart rate.
It's a popular plant that needs keeping away from anything with a pulse, and if the worst should happen, go to the hospital pronto without mucking about.
Right, it looks like our friends from earlier, the calcium oxalate crystals, are back in town, and now they're ruining the party with everybody's favourite plant species, Philodendron.
Who doesn't love a philodendron, eh? They really do look good enough to eat with those soft velvety leaves and gorgeous colours. Oh, you really shouldn't do that, you know. I know they look delicious, but you'll be in a world of pain. Yeah, burning sensations in the mouth and stomach that'll make it hard for you to swallow. Doesn't sound pleasant, does it? So put the knife and fork down and be on your merry way.
Now we come to Sheffield Jr.'s absolute favourite plant. Not to look at, mind you, no, to eat.
Seriously, look at the damage he used to cause to the leaves of this guy. The little terror was caught in the act numerous times, nibbling on a leaf while watching repeats of Bluey, endlessly.
Thankfully, he seems to have a stomach of iron, just like his mother, but I've warned him, and touch wood, he's not gone back for seconds.
I'm talking about pothos, of course, and in particular the devil's ivy. The clue is kind of in the name, I guess. Keep little uns and pets away, my plant friend. It's got those calcium oxalate crystal thingamajigs in them again. Here's one that's not so dear to my heart because it's absolutely all over my garden, so I guess it makes it extra dangerous for cars of Sheffield. To be honest, I kind of hate this plant. I've no idea why you'd want it in your home. It's probably because I can't tame the beast in my garden and I'm scared it will do the same in my house. This is English ivy, a very popular plant both inside and outside for some reason. Tritopanoid saponins apparently. Deadly stuff and particularly hazardous because of how attractive the vines are.
Okay, it's toxic but not a killer. Just means that the toilet bowl will be your kid or your pet's best friend.
What's this? Are you joking? I've just started upping my game with this plant and filling my home with them because I like a challenge, and now you're telling me I can't leave Sheffield Jr. alone with them. Cut it! It's those damn oxalates wreaking havoc again.
Oral irritation, difficulty swallowing, pooing her pants. Yeah, I don't really want to be dealing with that, so maybe I'll halt growing my collection.
Alocasias these are, and my aren't they beautiful and kinda weird looking. Keep them away from kids and pets to avoid a punami. Okay, so what do we have next? Euphorbia or crown of thorns.
Apparently these guys produce a latex sap that can cause skin irritation, and eating the sap can also make you sick.
But hang on, who in their right mind is going to come along to a plant that looks like this and start munching on the flesh? Doesn't look particularly appetising, does it? The clue's kind of in the name. Thorns. If Sheffield Jr. started munching on one of these, I think I'd admire his perseverance more than anything. But seriously, don't let anyone do it.
Right, let's rattle off a couple more before we get to the big boy, the one you really should avoid.
The Prince of Darkness himself, Mr. ZZ Plant, also finds himself caught up in the wrong crowd.
The usual things apply with him because he contains those calcium oxalate crystals which, as we know, can cause stomach upset and oral irritation if nibbled on.
It is pretty mild but well worth avoiding anyway. And please don't think those things in the soil are potatoes ready to be eaten. They're giant rhizomes and probably not pleasant. Look at these guys. Gorgeous little things, and you can see why a little rascal, human or otherwise, would be tempted to take a little nibble.
Now cyclamen plants contain cyclamen, which can be highly toxic. You've got all the usual symptoms that will keep you in the bathroom, but in severe cases it can even be fatal. Gosh!
Not to be messed with then, and best avoided in both the house and in the garden. You see these guys all over the garden centres as winter rolls in and folks look for a bit of colour to brighten things up, but apparently they are harmful if nibbled on, so you've been warned, my plant friend. Kalanchoe plants contain bufodienolides, which is not only a bit of a mouthful, but also toxic.
As well as the normal stomach issues, it can also cause heart problems. So, see a doctor or vet if you suspect it's been eaten. Right, we now come to the king of all toxic plants. And trust me, you really don't want to mess around with this guy. It sounds grim to say the least.
Ingesting any part of this plant can lead to heart irregularities, and even small amounts can be lethal. Yeah, it's that toxic. This is Oleander. While it does sound like something that's come straight out of Snape's cupboard, this plant is very real and very toxic to pets and children. It tends to be grown as a shrub outside, but is also a very popular houseplant too. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And I can see why someone might want to have a nibble.
But do so at your own peril. Keep it out of the house if you have nibblers. And for more weird and wonderful plants, check out my video here about plants that eat animals. Seriously, some of them do that. I'll see you there.